Are you ready to stop riding the emotional elevator of life? Are you ready to learn how to elevate your emotions that keep you psychologically traumatized or in an addictive behavior? You are in the right place. Here is your host, Sandee Byrd, trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach of the Emotional Elevator Show.
Welcome, everyone. It is the night before Thanksgiving here in America. I know that is different in other places if you're listening to me other places, but you have tuned in to Sandee Byrd on Emotional Elevator. First, I want to start off with, because it is a tradition of mine, and it's a tradition for some people here, is Thanksgiving is all about giving thanks and gratitude. And I really need to give some thanks and gratitude to some very powerful people in my life. First of all, the two women that are responsible for me being on here, Sarah, who's behind the scenes, editing, taking notes of what I'm saying, telling me when to go to break, does a fabulous job. And Christine, who is, of course, Inspired Choices Network. She's amazing. If you want someone to work with that is amazing, she's your girl. She's your gal. So I wanted to do a shout out for them. Also, all the others hosts on Inspired Choices Network. When I first joined, I started listening to a couple, one of them being JR, because that's one of the reasons why I'm here, but just diving into everybody else. I'm not fine. I mean, everyone, but we all kind of talk about the same thing. It starts with self. It starts with yourself. And everyone on here has different avenues. Business and how to drive your business, how to make your business successful, what you need to drive your business, to anyone from health, thyroid, how to gain control of your health. To, of course, me, I dive deep into emotions. And there's a lot of us on here that we're saying the same message, which starts with yourself. So I do need to give a shout out to all of them as well, because being part of this network, it has been amazing. It's been a great journey, even for me, to continue to listen to all of their messages and everything that they talk about. I just want to give a shout out, and that's my gratitude and thanks. But I also need to give gratitude and thanks to some other people in my life, one of which is my husband and my family. I always want to say I'm grateful and thankful for them being a very big part of my life, and allowing me the space to, not allowing me because they know me well enough to know I'm going to talk regardless, but giving me the kudos to do what I'm doing and to speak on some of the traumas that I put on them and the traumas that I myself have been gone through, to be able to speak my voice and use my voice to help others. So that's what I want to start off with, because it is the day before American Thanksgiving. And that is something I always do when I do it around our dinner table, is to give gratitude and thanks. So many of these people I want to give thanks and gratitude to. But tonight's show is going to be a little different. I know I go in deep, and I am probably going to go in deep the first part of it. And then I'm going to give you many techniques that I use to get through some of the holidays, quirkiness, or just give you some tips, and some of it's going to be fun. So we're going to have fun tonight. So let's just get this started. When it comes to the holidays, do you ever find yourself not saying no? And then you feel that you should have said no? And why can't you say no? And here's a problem that I see a lot is we feel obligated. And then we're going to change that as we go. But that's one thing that I reach out to my kids and my family. I don't ever want them to feel obligated to come to the house. We want them to feel honored to come to the house. So when we talk about saying no, why can't we just say no? Because I love when someone says, hey, I'm going to be having a Friendsgiving this Saturday. Would you like to come? No. But that's not what we do. We go, no, well, I've already, obligated myself to do this. I'd really like to come. We give all this blah, 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 instead of saying no. Why is that? And then a lot of people on the receiving end of hearing no, well, why can't you? It doesn't matter. No, as we all learn, is a complete sentence. When there's something we don't want to do, like when we were kids and we didn't want to brush our teeth or wash our face, no, that was it. Or when we learned the word no, no, was it. But we don't do that as adults. We feel we're obligated to give people excuses. And that's what they are. They're excuses. Yes, if something tragic happened, yes, you might want their support down the road. So yeah, give them that, because there was times in my first marriage where I was married, and my husband would go in the hospital, and people would be like, "Oh, you're not coming? Why aren't you coming?" And I'm like, "Well, because Kevin's in the hospital." Oh, well, is there anything else we can do? No, it wasn't so I would get the sympathy. It was just so, don't think about me. I want you to have a great time. And then I realized when I would say stuff like that, now they're worried about me. So just saying no is a great response. We should all practice it. No. See how easy that is? But we don't. We feel like we have to. We feel like the holidays, um, we have to please other people instead of ourselves. And that's something that I did up until about 3 years. I decided, hey, you don't want to come, you don't have to come. But don't show up and expect food and there's no food here. That's a difference. But if you just want to drop by, if you're going to be near this side of town, drop by. You don't have to eat, you don't have to anything. So this was a conversation um, with one of my clients. I was on the phone and they kept going, yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm going to go to my parents' house. And I'm like, why do you sound so sad about that? Why even go if you're already feeling this way? Well, we get there and we spend all day. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you do? Well, we eat around noon so that my dad and my brothers can watch football. You don't like football. I know. So what do you do? Well, I usually just sit there. Why? Well, I mean, why am I going to leave? Because you don't like football. And that's all they do is sit there and lay on the couch and lay on the floor and watch football. That is what is considered your way out. Just say, hey, great. Maybe wait an hour. Hey, great. I'm going to go now. He said, well, what does your mom do? Does she like football? No, she usually sleeps because she's been cooking for almost 2 days. So then why not just leave? And a lot of people say, well, that's easier said than done. It's really not, because you are spending time pleasing other people and you're really not that satisfied in what you're doing. Yeah, you're going to have that family time. Family time is not committed to 8 hours. Family time can be an hour, 30 minutes. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm just dropping by. That's what family time can be. And that's why I feel a lot of people move away far from home, because they don't have those obligations. And I'm saying it as an obligation because a lot of my clients feel that way. A lot of them talk about how they play out these conversations in their heads. Why do we do? I used to do that. And a client of mine says, well, I know my brother's going to say this and we're going to do this. You are manifesting that, and you're actually creating the conversation that might not even happen. Did that. I did that for years. And now I'm coaching other people. Don't do that. Walk in, just walk in. You don't know what the conversation is going to be. And by you dwelling on it, all you're doing is getting yourself agitated, anxious, frustrated before you even get there. What if you just walked in, nothing on the mind? Clear the mind that morning. Clear the mind. I'm going to walk in here and have a great time. Because most of the time, because of years, we walk in to Thanksgiving or into a holiday already agitated. When it comes to holidays with family, office parties, gone to an office party before, and someone got drunk and made a scene. and now you don't like to go. Well, why do you? Well, because we get presents at the office party. You don't think you'll get it if you don't go? Or if you do go, why not go in already not reliving the past? Because that has a lot to do with why a lot of people get stressed out when the holidays come. I know from clients and myself, there's times when November hits, hey, can I get an extra call this month? Or hey, can I talk to you this month? Hey, what times are you available to chit chat? Because they're agitated when you don't know what this holiday is going to be about. What you're doing is you're carrying on past holidays to this holiday. So what would it be like to just go in and say, you know what, I'm going to start this as a fresh start. So it's kind of what tonight is about, is just going through and saying, no, I don't want to come, or changing your thoughts around the holidays and some tips I can give you for the holidays, because this is something that I always felt. And for years, it was drilled into me that you always got to go see your parents on the holidays. And it became traumatizing. And even the conversation today with my husband, well, it's a tradition. I thought of this tradition. Why did we make it a tradition? And that's why you hear a lot more of Friendsgivings where people gather as friends than to be with their family because they feel more relaxed. They enjoy themselves and they have a good time. But it's those times where we feel obligated, or it's a tradition that we go to Aunt Susie's house, Uncle Billy's house, grandma's house, nanny's house, whose ever house, and we don't want to. So we already get anxious and frustrated. Why? So the thing that I have decided to start saying, if it's an obligation, I don't want to do it. But if I say I'm honored instead of an obligation, so we're going to start talking about positive mindsets and how it can change the whole holiday or the office. Because I started doing this where I don't think about any conversations because I don't know what they're going to be. And instead of saying, oh, well, I'm obligated to go to this, or my husband wants me to go to this party with, it's not my husband, I can tell you, he would avoid it. He's the one who says no. And that's it. Everybody knows when he says no, it's no. But when we feel obligated, why can't we change to that positive mindset and say, I'm honored. I'm honored to be invited to my family's house. I'm honored to not have to cook. I'm honored not to stand in those lines at the grocery store. I'm honored that I can go somewhere and just eat all I want and leave. And if I don't want, I don't have to clean the dishes. So, oh my gosh, it's almost time for my first break. Just another little shout out I want to give too, and be grateful and thankful. And I think a lot of people need to be grateful and thankful to these people too. Those retail workers and those restaurant workers, especially if you order your food like I did from somewhere. Someone had to make it. Someone had to put it together. Someone had to hand it to me. So I am grateful and thankful for their hard work. I'm also grateful and thankful for all my friends and family that still work in grocery stores around town. Spent a little time this week there, and I don't miss that management whatsoever. But I want to give a shout out to them because I'm grateful and thankful for their hard work and their patience. So we are going to go to our first break tonight. Wow. And you know what? We're going to have some fun a little bit, but first we're going to talk about some things to create a positive attitude around the holidays and how to elevate your emotions. So thank you for joining me tonight on Emotional Elevator. And if you are on another platform, please come over to Inspired Choices Network and join the chat room because I'd love to hear some feedback. Or when I get to techniques on how to elevate your emotions during the holidays, I'd love to hear some people come in this chat room and tell me their techniques, what they do, the rubber band to the wrist, or something you might do to elevate your emotions or take your mind off of what's going on around you. So I'm going to go to my first break. Thank you for joining me. This is Sandee Byrd on Emotional Elevator. When we get back, we'll be talking a little bit more about elevating those emotions. Then we're going to have a little fun.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to sandy@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for joining me, Sandee Byrd, on Emotional Elevator. We're talking about elevating the emotions during the holidays. And the last couple of 15 minutes, I kind of talked about feeling obligated and saying no, and how no is a complete sentence, and how easy it was when we were 3 and 4 to just say no. I mean, we said it even when we didn't mean it. So why do we struggle with it as adults? Well, why do we feel obligated to do things? So that's kind of what I'm talking about. And then later, we're going to have a little fun because I feel like right before the holidays, we need to do a little fun. And I'm going to teach people techniques that can hold you through the holidays. But one of the things I talk to my clients about, and even myself years ago, is when you feel obligated, and this is something that I said right before the break, why not change that to honor? How rewarding would it be to, instead of being obligated to spend the holidays with your family, you're honored to spend the holidays with your family? And stop that. I'm putting my hands up at my head. Stop that thinking of the conversations and dwelling on what might be said that might never be said, and start thinking about, wow, I'm honored to have this time with friends or family. Or if it's not, we're not talking about being around people for the holidays, but a company party. Wow, my company puts on the best parties. We go to this place and we eat this food and we have shrimp cocktail. I can't afford shrimp cocktail. What if we went and started turning obligation into honor? Or if you really don't want to go, saying no, and just say no. We think it's that simple, but I'm married to a man that can say no, and that's it. Nobody says, well, why not? Because they know he's not going to give you an answer. Whereas, and I'm going to put this out there, a lot of us women tend to have to feel we need to give those excuses. Well, worked all week and I had to do this and blah, blah, blah. And Johnny was sick and this, that, and the other. We give excuses when we don't need to. We just say, you know what? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not coming. Well, I made all this food. I did all this. Da, 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 da. That now was on them projecting on you. They're projecting on you to make you feel guilty to come. So you just say, no, I'm sorry. And if they persist, say, I've got to go. Sorry. End the phone call. Because sometimes there are people in our life that make us know that they can continuously make us feel guilty to do things. And a lot of those are family members or friends. So just say no. But here's another thing, like I was saying, treat it like it's an honor. So one of the things in my life, and I now carry this into the holidays, has a lot to do with my mother-in-law. Big shout out, gratitude, thanks for her. She's turning 100 next Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. My mother-in-law will be 100 years old. A few months ago, wow, it's been a while, I took on as a second caregiver for her. So I was spending few nights a week with her. It was long shifts. I was getting very burnt out. And everyone around kept saying, you know what? You don't have to feel obligated. And that was my husband's word. And I really started saying, you know what? You're right. I don't have to feel obligated. I feel honored. Because when I change that, and now that's what I say when there's things maybe I don't necessarily want to go to or don't want to do, and I change it to honor, it changes the whole outcome. Because when I was staying there and I felt honored, we would giggle like little schoolgirls. I got to hear stories about her being in high school. I got to hear stories about my husband's father that I never got to meet. I heard stories about family members. I heard stories about things that my husband did that he never told me. I heard stories about my stepchildren that I never knew. I heard stories about family members, those fun conversations. But if I would have gone in there and felt obligated, those fun times might not have happened. So think about that. If you're ever going to be somewhere and you feel obligated, go ahead and change that mindset to I feel honored. Honored. How does that make you sound? I'm obligated or I'm honored. See how I've already elevated myself? I'm honored. Sounds a lot better than I'm obligated. That obligated already puts me in kind of a negative mindset. But when I say I'm honored, I am honored. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored in my life. Yes, there's some things that are obligations, but when I turn around and I look into the gratitude and the gratefulness behind it, you see the blessings. But another thing that we're going to kind of dive into too, which is kind of great, is some things to do when you feel like a conversation is turning a direction you don't want to turn. So let's say, I'm going to throw out names. I don't have family members, hopefully, with any of these names that I know of. My husband has. Aunt Patty decides to say, so what's going on with blah, 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 blah. Well, you can change the conversation. I don't know. Maybe you should ask them. It's always a great response. But one of the things I try to tell my clients and that I started diving into a lot when I was working on my healing, what attracted to me to what maybe Aunt Patty, I think that's the name I use, Aunt Patty would say, is it something that I needed to work on within myself? Or is it something that I was attracted to in Aunt Patty? And what do I mean by that? We all have that person in the family that's the gossiper. We either are attracted to go sit with the gospel. I don't know what I'm saying. I was going to say gospel. gossiper. Are we attracted to them? So we sit with them? Or do we steer from them because we're afraid of what they might say about us? And why is that something that you're either attracted to or you try to stay away from? Is it because that's a trait you're working on, you want to let go? Or is it a trait you find attractive? Sorry, but gossiping is not a trait I find attractive, but some people do. So that's another thing, like recognizing what some things that attract you to family members and what some things don't attract you to family members. A lot of us have grandparents. I've told my story a lot, but I had a grandmother, my mom's mother, that was, oh my gosh, I couldn't say an ill word about the woman. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to bake. I'm a great baker because of her. I got to spend time with her. We played games. She was compassionate. She gave me hugs. She would sit down and brush my hair. She did all the things that I would have hoped my mother did. Then whenever I would praise her sometimes for my mom would try to tell me the other side of my grandma that I didn't know, that she was raised with. But that was a trait that I always wanted to take upon myself and that I want to be like when I'm a grandmother. So those traits of teaching my grandkids to cook. Not that I want grandkids if my kids are listening. That's not what I'm saying. But, teach them to bake and stuff like that. So there are some traits in family members that we do appreciate. I enjoyed going to my grandparents' house for the holidays. But there was other times where I really didn't because of, the family drama. And some techniques I would do is I would walk away. One of the best gadgets I can tell you that was created, and it is these buds. So I'm going to tell you, whenever you're at a family party and you're not really enjoying yourself, put your earbuds in, or at least one, or something. Play your favorite music. Excuse yourself. Go in the bathroom. Sit on the toilet. People haven't done that in their life if they've ever worked or anything like that. I don't think there's going to be young kids on here because y'all do it all the time anyway. But go be in a bathroom, sit on that toilet. And I don't mean literally. I mean, you can sit in the bathroom on the toilet seat, play your music, have a dance party. So that's one of the things I do teach a lot with my clients is 5 minutes a day. You need to laugh, you need to sing, you need to dance, you need to do play-like activities 5 minutes a day. So let's say you are at that Christmas party or at your family holiday and you don't like the conversation. Excuse yourself. Excuse yourself to go home. But if you can't excuse yourself to go home, go in the bathroom. Have a dance party with yourself. How rewarding would that be? Just think how elevated your emotions would be when you left the bathroom and you've just danced to your favorite music. You're in there, damn it. A little bit. I'm going to play some music. But damn it, when you go back out, you are going to be so elevated. You're going to miss the conversation. You're going to miss the drama. And you're going to go out there or you just go back in. Oh my gosh, this has been fun tonight. It's almost time for a break. But that's what I'm saying. Do something. Don't get yourself involved if you don't want to be involved. And when we come back, there is some client conversations that I've had where they feel like they have to get involved. You don't have to get involved. You can walk away. And I think sometimes in families, we don't feel we can walk away. Or in workplaces, if we're the strong one, or we're the mediator, or we're the mediator in the family. But anyway, like I said, it's time for my second break. This is just going by fast. But thank you tonight for joining me on Emotional Elevator. I am Sandee Byrd. You can find me on all different platforms. You can watch me on Facebook. You can watch me on YouTube. You can listen to me on SoundCloud. Wow, listen to this. This is live TV. Like SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen, you can find me. So I am going to go to my break. And when we come back, I'm going to do some little fun activities that you can do when you are in these situations where you want to elevate your emotions. So let's go to break. And when we get back, let's have some fun.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Sandee@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Like I said, during the holidays, you need to do things to elevate your emotions. And the last segment, I talked about excusing yourself when there's a conversation that you don't need to get involved in. So that's something I work with my clients about, and excusing yourself when you're sitting at people's houses for a whole day and not enjoying yourself. You can eat, say thank you, bring something, get my dish later. You don't have to wait around. But I want to give some techniques for when, everybody's sitting around, the drama starting. Walk away, go in the bathroom, or let's say you got a little bit involved in the drama. Excuse yourself, go in the bathroom. I'm going to bring a mirror with me. I'm going to take my phone like a mirror and look at yourself and have a conversation. This is not about me. This is about them. Elevate yourself. I came here with good intentions and I was not going to, have a conversation with yourself. Ask me how many times I've done that. And I tell my clients to do it and they're like, but also there's techniques. If you're starting to feel anxious and you need to walk away because that brother, that cousin, that aunt or whatever really aggravated you, walk away, have a dance party, do something fun for you. Because like I was saying before, I always tell my clients every day when you're working with trauma and addiction, and this includes family trauma, business trauma, party drama, friend drama, whatever, you need to dance, laugh, sing, and do a play-like activity for 5 minutes. But when you're in it and you walk away, do something to elevate your emotions, because don't let anyone bring you down to their emotions. So one of the things, like I was taught as a teenager, I'm going to say, by a therapist, is wear a rubber band. And when you don't want to get involved, do the rubber band thing. Started to get hurting because I was doing a lot. Now, what I do sometimes is I will wear anytime I'm around people or family or friends or I wear something where I can have pockets. And sometimes what I do is I carry some of my favorite stones or something that means something to me, a quarter or something like that. And I just rub it with inside my pocket. 'Cause that's a sensory and it will get you elevated. Or sometimes I used to wear jeans a lot and put my hands in my back pockets and I'll just squeeze my ass. Yes, squeeze my ass and just squeeze it and just like squeeze it. No, there's not that much to squeeze, but just kind of pinch myself to say, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to get involved because nobody likes to really have their emotions inflated during a fun time. What couldn't be a fun time? What can be a fun time? How about something I've done before? I've done this a couple of times where, and I'm going to do it now, where I've had my phone in my pocket and I have it set to some music, something like this. And you're with your family is not going to start jamming to YMCA. I hope everybody knows YMCA because I don't know any country. I've done YMCA in Greece, so I know people know YMCA. But just think, if you had music, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit, and we're going to have some fun with this. But just think, if you had music in your pocket and everyone's going, and all of a sudden you break out going. I mean, what family is not going to do that? I mean, how many weddings have you been to that YMCA plays and all of a sudden everyone puts drinks down, plates down, is up there. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but just think about just playing music, songs, anything that gets you kind of going in a good vibe, or, sing a song to yourself. There's a song that I sing to myself a lot, and that's confident. I'm not going to sing it now. Y'all don't need to hear me sing. Or I've sung many times, Carrie Underwood's Jesus Take the Wheel. I sang that many a times. But just doing something to elevate other people, get people to stop. Because most of the time when everybody leaves, do they remember those conversations? Or they might, and then it comes up. But just think if everyone has that moment to laugh, dance, or sing. But here's another thing, and this is what I promote a lot with me, because yes, I'm a trauma addiction specialist, and I work with clients that deal with addiction, trauma, depression. But my out in life and what I'm doing at a Christmas party, I'm so excited to do this at a Christmas party, is laughter yoga. And today, I do Kundalinis every Wednesday. It's one of my jams too. And we did laughter in it. So just think you're sitting around the table and all of a sudden you start going, do not think everyone's going to laugh, because if you started yawning, everyone's going to laugh. Yawn and get everyone tired and away from the table. But just think, if you just started laughing, everyone's going to start laughing. And then when they're like, what's so funny? I don't know. I just thought I'd clear the air. That's how I became a laughter yoga leader, because I started going out and we would have these tense moments like my conversations on here, emotional elevator. Sometimes I get off of here and I'm still kind of feeling the emotions that I was talking about. And I do laughter yoga for a half an hour. And that's why sometimes I miss Christine's show, but don't tell her. No, that's why sometimes I miss her show, because I'm doing laughter yoga to get myself down. And sometimes I'll do it later. But that's what I'm saying. Do something. There's also, this is a new technique that I learned as well. And it's good for panic attacks. But if you just started doing this, sounds like a heartbeat, but you're regulating yourself. I mean, there's so many things you could do when you're somewhere just to elevate your emotions. I mean, I'm a good dancer. I've been a choreographer before for a band. I can dance. But if you don't think I've not gone on the dance floor and what is it, Elaine from Seinfeld? What's her name, Elaine from Seinfeld? Where she's like, you know, do something like that. Get the attention away from that, especially if you don't want to be involved. Do something funny. Sing. Sing a song. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And I always tell people, leave your phones off around me when we're going to dinner or something. I yell at my kids now as adults. But yeah, that's why they feel honored not to come, because leave your phone off. But I will now put my phone in my pocket so I can accidentally start playing like a YouTube video or something. Everyone's like, what was that? Oh, that was me. It was just my phone. Ha ha ha. Do something funny. Do something fun. And like I said, don't play the day in your mind before you get there, because there's so many of us that do that. If you don't do it, I want to meet you. If you've never done it, I want to meet you, shake your hand. I don't care what part of the world you live in, I'll come. I'll shake your hand. Because I know we've all had that one moment, even before a date, where we played it out. But we do it a lot when we're going to a Christmas party, if we've ever been around these people before. Family, we do it a lot. Why not just lighten the air? Why not do techniques that elevate yourself, or just leave, or just say no? And you don't have to give an excuse. And if they're trying to guilt you, then right then and there, that's the reason why I didn't want to go in the first place, because I'd feel guilted for something. Because the holidays are about you. And I'm pointing at me, because the holidays are about you. So why do we spend it being miserable? And if we're miserable, do you think other people aren't miserable? Come on, make the holidays back to what it used to be: fun, enlightening. I mean, laugh, dance, sing. I have speakers now throughout my house, so I can play music in every room and just dance, laugh, and sing. Because those days of having people feel obligated to come to my house, or obligated, I want them to be honored. And I've had many Friendsgivings, invited people from out of town that I've worked with in the past in my management positions. And I know some of them probably wanted to say no, but felt obligated instead of honored. And that's the big thing I want to say tonight, is it's all about being honored around the holidays, honoring those we love, honoring those that we want to spend time with, and let go of obligation. But if the drama starts, go to the bathroom, have a dance party, bring your earbuds, put them in, have a dance party in the bathroom. I've done it. I've done it in a public restroom before. So you can do it and laugh. If it's a heated argument, start just laughing. Oh, I don't know what was funny. I forgot. So, oh my gosh, this night is going by fast. I'm glad I'm lightening up the load for tonight, because I want people to have happy holidays. I want it to be all about the happy holidays, not the trauma holidays, because you can have happy holidays, but you've got to be the one. I just pointed at you. So if you're listening, you've got to be the one to make the holidays happy for yourself. Do what makes you happy. Saying no makes you happy? Say no. If not spending 8 hours a day with your family or friends, or the 3-hour company party, you just want to walk in and leave, It's about you, because you only have one life to live. And all these people in your life are either going to be celebrating a holiday with or without you. And you want to have a good time or do you want to have a bad time? It is time for my last break. Again, more shout outs because I always like to give thanks and gratitude for the first responders out there. Thank you for all you do around the holidays and being there to protect us and guide us, and those hospital workers. And then before we end the show, there's other workers out there that I'm going to give thanks and gratitude. And I'm grateful to say all my family members are one of the ones that I am giving thanks and gratitude for, because we've all worked on the holidays and my families, because we've all been in a lot of these positions. So I'm going to go to break, but please continue to join me on Emotional Elevator with me, Sandee Byrd. And remember, you can reach out to me, email me at sandy@emotionalelevator.com, or you can even go to my website, sandeebyrd.com, because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to sandy@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Of course, next week we're going to get heavy again, and we're going to talk about how psychological trauma can affect the holidays. And I'm going to go in a little bit deeper. But this week was all about elevating your emotions around the holidays. And I've gone into doing some fun techniques, like laughing. Who doesn't like to laugh? So if I started yawning right now, everyone who's watching me right now would start yawning. Or if you could hear me do the, you're going to yawn. So laughing spreads so contagious. And that's one of the reasons why I am a laughter yoga leader, because I really enjoy laughter yoga because of diving deep into other people's emotions, and even still working on my healing and finding new things when I work with new clients and things that I evolve around during the holidays. But find something, a technique, if you ever get a little bit of drama around the holidays. Number one, like I say, you can say no. Number two, you can walk away. You're not obligated. But going in and saying, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored. But that honor can start going away, then walk away. But it's also about finding techniques. I was showing before the padding, which has a lot to do with regulating yourself for a panic attack. But it can also help if you're anxious. But just closing your eyes. If you sat at a table and everyone's like arguing around you, and you just start closing your eyes and just do the box breath and say, this does not involve me. Box breath is 4 inhales, 4 hold in breath, 4 exhales, 4 hold out breaths. So it's breathing in 4 counts, holding in 4 counts, breathing out 4 counts, holding out 4 counts. Doing that and saying things to yourself, because I'm also a breathwork facilitator, And I find myself doing that sometimes in stressful situations. If I'm listening to other people argue around me, if I'm somewhere and I'm like, this does not involve me, I don't need to get involved, I am safe, I am okay, I am good. I'm just doing that breath or doing an 8 count. Breathe in and out. Because you've got to do something when you're starting. If you don't want to get involved, nobody wants to get involved unless you have to get involved. And there's no reason to get involved. You can, and I know it's always easier to say, walk away, or just start laughing. Someone's kind of coming at you, just start going, ah. Do you think they're not going to stop and go, what's so funny, and start laughing with you? Because have you ever been around somebody at a holiday or somewhere and they're starting to tell a joke and start laughing and you're already hysterically laughing, going, okay, can you finish the joke? Because I haven't really heard the joke. So think about that. Laugh. Start doing some kind of movement. Start singing. Do, re, fa, mi, la. Mess up a song. Do something. Go in the bathroom if you have to and have a dance party with yourself. Look in the mirror and go, I am safe. I am fine. This is my mirror, of course, but it's my phone. I am safe. I am fine. And I am good. And I don't need to be a part of this because this is not me. Then when you leave, when you've been around any type of chaos, let it go. Do something. Just wipe it off yourself and say, okay, I am not taking this with me. I'm good. I am good, but I'm not taking all this negative energy with me. I'm not going to take it home with me, and just wipe yourself down and say, I'm not taking it home if you've been around negative energy. But the first thing I want to say is don't even go in with a negative mindset. Don't think about a conversation before it happens. Don't. Just go in and say, today is a new day. Today is going to be the best holiday experience. This year, this Christmas party is going to be all that it can be. And then you know what? If you start feeling a little fun and frisky, you can go out there and start doing a little Elaine dance. Do something funny. And if you're not that person and you can't do that, it's me. I can get you to be doing that because have fun. Because the holidays are about being happy. The holidays are about you and what you want the holidays to be. So how do you want your holidays to be? You want it to be fun and festive? Or do you want it to be lousy and lonely? So just think about that. And you know what? For this last minute, we're going to do some laughing. So get your laugh on because we're just going to laugh because the holidays are coming and we are happy. So and thank you for joining me tonight on Emotional Elevator. I'm hoping tonight we were able to elevate your emotions and teach you some techniques to elevate yourself during the holidays that you can use anytime you need. And it doesn't have to be around the holidays. I just know a lot of people deal with a lot of stress during the holidays, and you don't need to. The stress you're putting on yourself. Nobody's putting that stress on. You're putting it on yourself. So why not let it go? I let go the stress. I let go the stress. You can make a song out of it. Go the stress. Let go the stress. So do something because this is the emotional elevator, and I'm going to be teaching you techniques